Knowing what they're going to do, they're reasonably refreshed, they've had a night's sleep, they'll be there within an hour, and they'll be on duty within 2 hours.
Today's operation went with the precision that wasted no time. And when time is money, smooth running is essential. So what did it cost? Neither the police nor the airline is saying. The Chief Constable said their usual travel overtime bill would more than pay for the aircraft. We guess that to be around £6,000. In any event, the men arrived fresh and ready to keep the peace in what's now seen as the divided community of the Nottinghamshire coalfields.
From Herne Airport, and according to police chiefs, meant the men arrived ready for instant picket duty.
On board. Flight time to the East Midlands Airport, just 56 minutes against an 8-hour coach journey. The cost of chartering, just under £8,000 return. But that's considerably cheaper than the extra overtime bill incurred when they travelled by road. Michael Green, ITN, Nottinghamshire.
There's troubles up there, and I know that you've been there before, and that you know what's required. Mr. Mann here has left no uncertainty as to what our law and order situation is up there. All you've got to be on the alert and watch out for is the subterfuge and the device that may tempt you to be less than calm and sensible in a very divided community. What I want you to do is to be there, the ambassadors of Hampshire, as I know you can be, and if there are any problems or any questions you want to ask, now is the time, or on the plane with Mr. Mann. Best of luck to you.
That's the message 126 Hampshire policemen were given early this morning by their Chief Constable. They were preparing for a tour of duty on the miners' picket lines in Nottinghamshire. 12 detachments of Hampshire Police have already travelled to the Midlands, but for the first time today, a Boeing 737 jet was hired to take the men there. The charter, a one-way flight to East Midlands Airport, cost £3,500. But with the men's overtime costing up to £10 an hour, the considerably shortened journey by air is likely to prove less expensive than the long journey by coach. In addition to the saving in real financial terms, the men are more fit for duty after a flight rather than a tedious coach journey starting at 1 o'clock in the morning. Hampshire Police have been helping out the Midlands forces for 8 weeks now, tackling duties which are unfamiliar in their own home county. So how are they shaping up?
Well, we see ourselves as working men, dealing with working men, and we enjoy it very much.
What about the miners themselves?
Well, they are a fantastic group of people to deal with, absolutely fantastic. And I don't think we've ever worked with a nicer group of people, and we get on very well with them.
John Duke, the Chief Constable of Hampshire, makes it his business to be on the spot when his men are leaving the county for arduous duty in other parts of the country. In this particular case, he knows exactly what his men are going to. For 6 years, John Duke was down the mines himself in Durham. He stopped being a miner to join the police service. So what are his thoughts of the policeman's role in the present mining dispute?
Mixed thoughts, very sad in many ways that we should be shipping policemen as we've done here to a Midlands community where obviously they're in conflict with each other and probably being misled by various people, because I'm sure that they're good-hearted folk, and as those men will tell you when they're talking to these miners and their wives and their families as they patrol the villages and the streets up there, they find a relationship, and it's sad that they're divided in this way when really all it needs is men of goodwill to get together and have a solution to this problem.
You must have a special sympathy, though, with your experience of 6 years as a miner, a special sympathy with all the parties involved.
Well, I think it would be a bit sentimental to think of a special sympathy 30-odd years on, but I have a sympathy with UK people in a situation like this, where obviously decent citizens are being threatened and abused, and policemen have to be used in this situation to give a bit of peace and reassurance.
How far do you think the police have been drawn into this from a political point of view, rather than just from a law and order point of view?
As far as I'm aware, from no political point of view at all. It's a pure law and order. I'm asked by a colleague in Nottingham to help him out. If I had to ask him for the same aid, I know I'd get it. So that it's a purely law and order, peaceful, reassuring presence they're going up there. Nothing to do with politics as far as we're concerned.
On landing, the detachment of Hampshire Police immediately joined forces with their own colleagues who are already on duty in Nottinghamshire, and they were later to join other forces dealing with the thousands of pickets outside the Harworth colliery near Workshops.
Busing police from Hampshire to the Nottinghamshire coalfields over the last 2 months has been an expensive and tiresome business. It's 6 hours by road, but only 20 minutes by jet. With rest periods, the road trip would eat up a whole working shift. By
The riot-torn Handsworth area of Birmingham. They've been called in to help by the West Midlands police force, whose officers have been at full stretch since the trouble started. The Hampshire policemen were brought in at short notice from all over the county. But their stay in Birmingham will be short-lived. They'll be on the streets for only 12 hours before flying back early tomorrow morning.